everyone, so welcome back to another tutorial, back with the same wallpaper that everybody was asking for. It'll be linked in the description. But today, guys, on Twitter recently, a lot of people have been asking for an updated text tutorial, and seeing how good the last one did, I mean, I have it open right here, 13,000 views, 748 likes, that is just amazing. It's not the most viewed video on my channel, but it's the one that gains the most views, and we just got a subscriber. Let me turn that off. Anyways, yeah, it's the one that's growing the fastest on my channel. It's actually gonna catch the Morgan speed art eventually. Okay, but just thank you guys all so much for the Morgan support. That's doing insane. And the text tutorial support is still growing. It's getting about 100 views a day. And that's just freaking insane. I just uploaded a video, and I saw on Twitter, a lot of you guys have been asking for an updated text tutorial. Even in the comments of that video, people were asking for a text tutorial that went over how to do text similar to this one. After I posted this yesterday, where I went from this all the way into this, people were asking in the comments how did I do it, and they wanted an updated text tutorial. So I thought today we could go ahead and try it out. So first thing we're gonna do, just like last time, just open up Photoshop. Simple as that. This text tutorial is a little bit more advanced because it really depends on how you like your text to look and how you want it to look in the end. And I just messed up my Photoshop. It depends how you want it to look in the end. So first of all, I don't use normal 1920 by 1080. I do 2240 by 1080. Pretty similar. It doesn't up the quality at all. It's just a larger workspace for longer names. So that's the first thing you're gonna want to do. Just make the background black, and we can get started. First of all, click the lock button, and then go ahead and click your text button, and just type in whatever name you want. So I'm probably gonna do my name again, if I can spell correctly. Alright, so it's right here, and what you're going to want to do is make sure your text is white so you can actually see it. And now, personally, I don't like the way my name looks at all. Well, I do, but the S is kind of weird and Arial bold, but the font I use is a default Windows font, and I don't know if it's on Mac as well, but Arial, and then you put it on bold, and you just up the size a lot. Now, for the first part, you want to create not as simple of a gradient as we did last time. You want to have at least 4 colors in this one. So just put your gradients on normal. Now I already have a template right here. It's 3 colors, but then I bring this one up and make this one a little bit lighter. But anyways, you can copy this gradient style if you want. It's pretty easy to do. You can find them in like Mondazes, gradients, veins, etc. It's a really simple gradient. It's not as complex as like anything. It's literally just 4 colors. 2 are the same, and then 2 are just extra ones. You don't even need this one. But after you've done that, just click OK. Sorry if I'm going a little bit fast in this video. I'm just short on time, so I want to make the video good, but I want to make sure you guys are able to understand as well. But I also have somewhere to go, so I'm trying to speed up. Anyways, we can get rid of those. You want to click on inner glow, put it on color dodge, lower the opacity quite a bit so this part up here is not as white, and just up the size. You can up the opacity, you know, it's kind of just playing around with the settings, see what you want. But for me, I'm just gonna go with 95 and 30. So there we go. Now what you're gonna want to do is click on the FX button and go to bevel and emboss. You can slow down the tutorial as well if I'm being a little bit too fast. But these are the settings you're going to want to do. You can copy them right now, but the style is inner bevel, technique smooth, depth at 100, direction up, size is at 8, and soften is at 16. And then these should be your settings by default down here. I don't mess with these at all, but you can go to contour, up that all the way to 100. I don't really use anything else. I then just click OK, and then rasterize the layer style. Now I'm going to pause here so you guys can continue doing it and go back if you missed anything. But I'm going to pause here, and I'll see you guys in a second. Alright guys, so we're back. Now what you're going to want to do is click on blending options, go to inner glow, put it on overlay this time, put it around, not a little bit larger, a little bit smaller. So I'm going to put it on 10, but I'm going to keep it at 100. And then, so that should be good right there. Now you're going to want to rasterize the layer style, and here's where we start doing the changing this from just plain old boring text with the gradient to really cool looking text. So my favorite letter to do this with is of course Z, just because you can do so many cool things with it. Now you're going to want to grab this tool up here, the polygon lasso tool, and you're going to want to select around the letter, hit Control X or Command X if you're on Mac, and then drag the letter back over to its side after you've pasted it. Try and get it to line up with the other ones. Then click on Edit, Transform, and Warp. And so now you have this little crosshatch bounding box. And what you can do with this is move the letter to suit how you want it to look. So with me, I like the letter to look, I don't really know how to explain it, but you can kind of see here, it's starting to look very similar to this div Z. That's just how I like my letters to look. And instead of, looking forever to find a font that will look decent with how you want the banner to look, you can just do this and it'll look a lot better really quickly. Now this is the tutorial that I'm talking about. It's really up to how you want your text to look and up to your own personal preferences. Now I don't feel I explained it well enough in that clip, so right here we're just going to go again. We're going to go to Warp, and basically you select these 4 edges to move the corners of it out, right? And then you use the middles and these to extend the parts up or down, depending on how you want it. And for me, that's looking good. So that's pretty much all I really want to go over, how to use that part of it. But yeah, I just didn't even select this one out. Okay, well, there we go. Anyways, so you just want to do this for the rest of the letters, and one of the major things I like to do is change size of the letters and kind of make it look almost as if you have the bulge at a negative number, so it's going from bigger to smaller. So what I like doing is I'll just take the outer letter, make it larger to start, and then I'll do that like kind of a slow decrease. So I'll see you guys once I've done all the letters, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, now the S looks very weird, but S, like I said, I don't like the way S looks in this font, so it's very hard to make it look cool, but the rest of the letters look dope. So let's just become F7Z. No. But what we are going to do now is we're pretty much going to be following the steps from my last tutorial, except on this one, you want to select all the layers and Control J and just keep going up. Now, when you've gotten to a point you like, make sure you click under your last layer so it helps to rename these, but I didn't. But you want to click under the last layer and you want to go all the way back down to the bottom. Once you've selected all of the duplicates, merge layers, and now you want to go to hue and saturation, put the lightness down, and change the hue up a little bit more to match the text. Now merge those 2 layers, go to blending options, go to gradient overlay, put the blend mode on overlay, and then change it to a black and white, just like our last text. Go to inner glow, put it on color dodge, and bring it up quite a bit. And there you go. That's pretty much how I did that text. Now, I'm going to be showing you guys how I do the effects on the text. Now, this text alone looks pretty cool. Besides the S, we can forget the S is even there. Now, obviously, there are no shadows on this one, which is a little bit different than the last text. But when you have a CC on, you're not really going to notice it as much. But what you're going to want to do now is put all those in a folder, duplicate the folder, merge the folder, and then go to Filter Gallery, put on Glowing Edges. Now, if you want to see my Glowing Edges settings, there are 3, 6, and 7. Click OK, put it on Color Dodge, and now you want to erase parts that you personally just don't like. I normally just randomly erase around. I think it ends up looking pretty decent like that. You then want to select both layers, Control J, merge the layers once again, go to Filter Gallery, Artistic, click on Plastic Wrap, click OK. If you want to see my Plastic Wrap settings, there they are, 18, 11, and 5. Click OK, go to Overlay, and then once again, erase parts that you just don't like. For me, I like leaving Plastic Wrap on the corners and the edges of things. I just think it looks the best there. I don't think it looks really good when it's all around because it makes edges darker and stuff. I don't like having it on really light stuff because it just makes a streak and that doesn't look too nice. Then once again, Control J on everything, merge those layers, go to filter gallery, sketch, chrome. Here are my settings. 10 is the detail and the smoothness is at 0. Now you want to go to color dodge and you want to erase edges, right? I personally like having it a lot of chrome, but I like erasing it just like I do with, I like erasing the parts just like I like erasing on the plastic wrap, where I'll erase parts that are the edges, but I like leaving it on the underside of the letters, 'cause I think it looks really cool there. But I erase parts that aren't the edges. I normally leave the edges and corners there, just 'cause I think it looks really dope. But one of the major things about my text is that I always leave chrome on the bottom of it, just because it creates really cool effects on the bottom, like this little ripple and the little extra lines there. Alright, so that's pretty much it for that part of the text. You can then group it again, and if you open the layers, you see we don't have too much going on. You can rename this to text. Hey guys, now I've already said this, but this part of the tutorial is optional. You don't have to continue watching. If you've already know how to do all the effects and stuff that I show after this, then great for you guys. You guys can end the video here. Thank you guys for watching up to this point, but if you're going to continue on, then you are a real pro. I love you guys. Thank you guys for all the continued support, and I'll let you guys get into the video. Now, for this, you don't specifically need the X and X V2, but it is a pretty easy pack to get. It's on my sell-fi. That'll be in the description. It's only $1.50. It's pretty cheap. But you can find most of these stocks in free packs and stuff. But what we're going to do is, if you have this pack, or if you have your flares and effects already loaded, you just want to take those flares and effects and duplicate the group into your canvas that the text is on. Now, if you do want to buy this pack, shameless plug right here, this is all the stuff it has in it. It has a lot of my never-before-seen whips, which is an exclusive thing to this update only, because after update 1.2, I'm going to be getting rid of that, and I'm going to be going straight to update 1.3, and after update 1.5, there will be no further updates to the pack, so get the exclusive part of the pack now while you can. Sorry, that was a lot to say, and I kind of got a little mangled up there towards the end. Let's just get right back into the text. You could end the video right here if you wanted to, but if you do want to learn how I do my flares and effects on the text, then this is the part where you want to stay at. Alright, so open up your flares folder. You can take everything out of here. We don't need the folder at all. The folder is just going to get in the way. Now, in my pack, this is well, right here, this is the stock that I use most often for text. It's the 10th stock, and normally I like putting this towards the middle of the text and at the top, because it creates these lines going the other way on both sides, so it gives a flaring effect to the text, and it looks really nice. Now you want to click on this, I forget what this part is called, but it's in between the mask tool and the folders, and you want to go to photo filter, put the density on 100, and now you want to hold Alt and click between the layers, kind of on this line, and it's only going to select that layer. And now you can choose any of the filters to match your text. For me, blue, because the text is blue. And so there you go. That's pretty much all you want to do with that stock. What you can do though is if you want to be really advanced and just go ahead and make your text look amazing, you can go to warp, go to arch, and instead of putting the arch up, you can put it down slightly to match kind of the arc of the text, because you know the text is because of the way the text is going from larger to smaller. You can rotate it, and you know it looks pretty cool there. But for me, I think I'm not gonna leave it like that. I'm just gonna leave it normally. But if you wanna, you know, be a little bit more advanced and mess with text, for this stock, number 8 in my pack, or just like a glowing orb thing, I normally like putting this inside of a P or a G, or any letter really that has like a space in it, even R. But I don't know, it looks really cool. It's kind of like an eye, and with this, it kind of looks like if the P was a dragon head. This is how I like to think. That would be the eye, and it looks really cool because it's like glowing. A lot of the stocks in my pack you can find in a lot of other packs. You don't necessarily need my pack alone, but a lot of these flares, you know, you can get in other packs. For me personally, I specifically just love using flares. So normally there's a lot of flares around my text and on my text. If I can find the one I just deleted, there we go. But my flares are on linear dodge normally, and then I just kind of put these towards the edges of the text, you know, and just kind of mess around, see where I like them at. Like I like one right there, I'll bring another one and put it down there, and so I'm thinking I'm gonna delete that one, But now, you know, you just go to your hue and saturation, match it to the text, blah blah. It's pretty simple stuff we're doing at this point. But then you want to go ahead and just drag those into your text folder, and there you go. That's pretty much how I do my text. If you want to add more effects to the text, you can select all the layers that don't have flares in them, Control J, merge them, drag it behind everything, go to filter, blur, radial blur, and now just put the amount at 100, the method, put it on zoom, and then put the quality on best. It'll take a while to load if you don't have an amazing PC or a decent PC even, and it should create you something like this. Now I put this on color dodge normally, and if we had a background, which I'll make this one slightly lighter, you can see kind of the effect it gives. It looks really cool because it makes it a lot darker. But I also will just Gaussian blur it a slight bit, maybe 1 or 2. And now it's just looking crazy. But yeah, there we go. You can just mess around with the settings you want. For me, I think this time I'll put it on hard light and lower the opacity quite a bit. And I might just put it back to darkness being at 0. But that's pretty much how I do my text. Actually, I don't really like that. But yeah, that's pretty much how I do my text. This is the updated text tutorial. If there's any problems, just ask me in the comments or DM me on Twitter at Seph7Z, X instead of the E. But yeah, just comment down below if you have any problems. I hope you all enjoyed this one. I know this one went a little bit faster, but I hope if you've watched this one, you should go back and watch the other one if you haven't. But if you have watched that one, then I recommend going to this one and staying for the whole video. And if you're hearing this, that means you've done that. So thank you all so much for watching. If we can get this one to even a quarter of the support that the previous one got, I'd be insanely happy. Thank you guys all so much for all the support lately. You guys have been amazing. I'll see you guys all next time. Stay tuned for more tutorials. Peace out.